Porch at the Amphitheatre for the 11th. That's impossible. And it's been a year and a half since the last one. So I've been nervous for 18 months. Is really what that means.
What makes the color of our skin is a biochemical reaction in our melanocyte. So there's melanin all over the animal kingdom, and I'm talking all over. It's in fungus, bacteria, plants, animals. It's been recently found in dinosaurs, which we'll get back to. And humans have two types that make up the skin component, and one that makes up neuromelanin. And the component is eumelanin that makes up the darker pigment, and theomelanin, which makes up the lighter component. So basically, our skin cells can't necessarily be understood. We also have, like I said earlier, neuromelanin. And neuromelanin is crucial because it cannot exist without eumelanin and the theomelanin at the same time. So those two cells that on the exterior we seem to do a lot of fighting about have to be present for your brain to properly function.
I've been a practicing veterinarian for over 7 years now. It's super cool. Have you ever noticed that people start to look like their dogs? Yep, it only makes sense if the insides match too. This is Topher Brody. He's made himself famous for looking like his dogs. If you ever need to cheer up, look him up. He's super fun. But I believe it's all part of the very same energetic phenomenon. A recent study performed by Naples University, coined the sweat study, had people watch a scary movie and a funny movie. And then they brought in dogs and they observed their behavior. And the people who had watched the scary movie, the dogs cowered and didn't want to go near them. In the funny movie, they acted very different. And it just proved that dogs actually can smell your fear, which is a very scary proposition because we're all stressed out all the time. From work, from financial issues, from interpersonal conflict, whether real or imagined. Everything is energy. Every substance, every cell, every sound, every thought has a measurable frequency or wavelength.
The roots for the Stroll for Wellbeing program are in the Japanese Shinrin Yoku, which literally means forest bathing. This approach has been researched and refined for over 40 years. There are over 60 forest therapy facilities in Japan. In South Korea, they are medicalizing nature. They now have between 2,000 and 3,000 visitors a month at their forest therapy centers and treat conditions ranging from cancer to allergies. Their national university has the only degree program in forest therapy in the world. They estimate that forest therapy reduces medical costs, creates jobs, benefits local economies, and they are putting their money where their research is, investing $100 million in a forest healing complex. And their goal is a healing garden in every urban city.
And no matter what form our carbon takes here on this planet, our very atoms still remember that we were once fused together. So when you are looking at he, she, or me, and thinking how different we are, remember we once shared the same bodies in our fusion together as some long dead distant star. The magic you seek, that you think is outside you, has always been calling from deep in your bones and your flesh. Real magic isn't found in a book. If you want to know magic, go to the mirror and just take a look at the wonder and marvel of all that you are, you perfectly formed being. You know it is the universe you are seeing, yourself as the body and mind of that which is infinite and alive beyond space or time.
When my mother's dementia made it impossible for her to care for herself, I moved her to assisted living. She hated it, and there was no reasoning with her. But one day, rather than leaving, I gently took her hand and sang, Maria, directly to her eyes, and magically her tantrums ceased. Other residents became mesmerized, and as I sang to them individually as well, a miraculous thing happened. A voice poured out of me to meet their unspoken need. Songs I'd been singing for years communicated what words couldn't, and everyone's faces lit up as smiles sparkled in their eyes. Singing intimately while holding the hands of people with dementia was the opposite of techniques I'd learned to manage audiences. Their need for intimacy drew a sound from me that poured back into them, as if we shared the exact same need. Finally, without a thick skin or a stage, I was singing to real people in real life. I made recordings, and sure enough, my voice sounded better than ever. And I remember thinking if voice teachers had their students do this, they'd all go out of business.